I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since I made this video, I haven't really done anything with the car. I kinda overhauled the brakes, if that's what you want to call it, and that's about it. It sat for a very long time. And to make it worse, I didn't even transfer the title to myself. So technically this car doesn't really have an owner yet. But now that I got some time, I guess I'll do that now. To get a car transferred to a new owner or even update the registration in Hawaii, the car must first pass a safety inspection. Actually, no, you gotta get insurance first, and then the safety inspection. To pass a safety inspection, you will need everything working on the vehicle. Stuff like lights, horn, wipers, tires, brakes, all that good stuff. Here's a short list I made of all the things I need to take care of before I take it into the safety check station. The first concern I have with the Conquest is its tires. While they still had a lot of meat on them, they were dry rotted and cracked, which will definitely not pass the safety inspection. According to the Tire Rack website, the stock original sizes I needed for my wheels are 205 55/16s in the front and 225 50/16s in the rear. I don't want to spend too much money on this car, so I'm going to go with a smaller tire size to just save on cost. And to further save on cost, I went with some stupid cheap unknown brand tire, at least unknown to me, that I found on Amazon. These tires are pretty hilarious. If you look at them close, they look to be knockoffs of more well-known brand tires. Sumic? Sumitomo? Hell, even the fonts look very similar to each other. And Jinyu? What the f is that? And look at this elephant. Doesn't he kind of remind you of some other running tire mascot? Overall, I got this combination for $260.24. I'll have a link at the bottom for the tire sets that I got. The smaller tires fit fairly well on stock rims, with the fronts having a tad bit of that stretched look. Hawaii is a two-plate state, meaning both the rear and the front license plate must be mounted. Rear is good, front is not. I couldn't find anything on the front of the car to mount the front plate, and I didn't want to drill any holes into the bumper just yet. In Hawaii, they do approve of zip ties as a means of securing your license plates, so long as you have 4 of them holding it up. The interior pieces I took off to access the ignition barrel was never put back. Might as well do that right now. Also, dash lights like, the check engine light, the brake light, oil light, that all needs to be taken care of. None of that should be flashing during the inspection. I noticed the brake light on the dash is always on. Either the e-brake sensor has failed, the brake fluid sensor has failed, or the most common reason, brake fluid is low. I filled it up and it's good to go. Lights. All lights must work. Turn signals, brake lights, parking lights, high beams, corner markers, license plate lights, reverse lights, all of that. The one light that seems to break on me quite often is the third brake light. So let's figure out why the hell it's broken. The light bulbs look pretty good, so let's trace the wiring and see where the power is lacking. The wiring for the bulbs runs from here all the way to the hatch dampeners, where I noticed these contact points. It seems that when you close the hatch, it touches these copper contact points here, completing the circuit. You can see a little bit of corrosion on these spots, so I'm going to go ahead and sand these points for a better connection. Nope, still no light. Alright, so let's dig a little deeper. I removed the hatch interior to reveal the connector that connects the third brake light to the main harness. This is where I'll attach the multimeter to figure out where the problem in the circuit is happening. Thank God. Moving up the circuit, up next is the contact points on the dampener. Okay, so that's good. I wonder. Alright, so this is the problem. The 2 contact points aren't making a good connection. I would have thought sanding it down would have fixed this, but from closer inspection, I realized it's not the surface at all. It's actually the copper plates themselves. They've been pushed further out from all the use that they don't ever make contact anymore. Easy fix. I'm going to use the flathead to bend the copper plates more inwards, and hopefully that should do it. Sweet. Now all the lights are good. And last on my list, the tint. Now, Hawaii tint laws require you to have 35% or higher. I know it's stupid, right? Because we don't live in a state that has constant sun. But that's not the problem. My problem is that my tint is just hard to see through because it's old. And throughout the years, it's hazed and bubbled. This will definitely not pass the safety. A simple and tedious way of removing tint is to simply use a razor blade. But as you can see, this will take a lot of time and effort. To make things a little easier, you can use a blow dryer or better yet, a heat gun to loosen up the adhesive. This in turn will make pulling or scraping the tint a whole lot easier. By the way, this is just the first layer of the tint, very easy to remove. The second layer is way harder to take off. So even with the heat gun and razor, it's still taking a long time to take the tint off. I went on YouTube to see how everyone else was doing it and discovered this video. In this video, he sprayed some solution on the inside of the windows and then covered it up with garbage bags that he cut to size. He then let it sit out in the sun, and half an hour later, the tint came off like it was nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. The guy mentioned in the video that he used 409 cleaner. I didn't hear it the first time, and I just went out and bought Simple Green instead. We'll see if it works. "30 minutes later, right away I can already tell the difference. It's so much easier to scrape. It may not have pulled it in one go, but that could have been due to a bunch of factors. Maybe I didn't let it sit in the sun long enough, maybe the solution I used wasn't strong enough, or it could be that the tint was just super old. Either way, it made my job kind of easier. Maybe you'll have better results. I put the link at the bottom for the video I found. And that's it. I simply take my car to the safety station located in the shop. They give me my 30-day fail safety papers. Fail safety because registration is expired, which I then take to the DMV. Those guys give me a new title and update my registration, and for some reason they gave me a new license plate. And then I go back to the safety station, and finally they give me my pass safety sticker, making my Conquest legal to drive in the state of Hawaii. Whew. That was a lot of work for a stock vehicle, and thankfully we don't have smog tests on island. Well, not yet. I'm sure our state officials are working on that. F***ers. Well, hopefully this gave you guys a little insight to what we Hawaiian locals have to go through in order to get our cars road legal. Again, it wasn't too difficult. It was just a lot of small things. Thank God it wasn't modified.